Charlie, first of all, and one of the bets again, the two more Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I mean, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, link I'm the two more, I say, so joining WhatsApp channel, and the bet did go through into our Chabiano. Congratulations to you, so we're trying to do now, of course, we'll go back to Fiifi-Manfred on the channel. I might say, we can focus here. Group Nimaya, but the group doesn't get full. It does not get full. Mind you, it's a WhatsApp channel. You just have to subscribe to it. If you try the process, it takes you to the web. Restart it again and do it. You are going to have it. And this time, yesterday, I forgot to make the link in the bottom description. Today, I'll put it there. It's going to be straight there. Or as a two-show video, and the description is going to be there. If you've not subscribed to Fiifi-Manfred channel on WhatsApp, that's why I put all the betting codes. So sometimes you just have to go to the top of better in any part of the day. It can be in the evening, sometimes it can be live games, yes, match, and maybe you're watching. I see something, I think that this is something that's UCHBD. You just have to make sure you unmute it. Make sure that you unmute the channel. So you will get the information, you will get a bet. You just have to tap on it. Don't edit anything. Just tap on it and go straight to bet to a link. Nature, you are going to get the money. You are going to enjoy some good stuff. And now people had it. Some of the bets, go to Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Under over 1.5 they not go through, so some of them also did not go through. But then the first one atum the first one atum Fiifi-Manfred channel, sports channel it's not a group, it's a channel, so you just have to subscribe to the channel or WhatsApp, then you get access to it, and you just have to tap on the link and do that. This morning's one is there, and maybe analysis now if you have doubt you can compare it and make sure say we try it with your of course. And now a lot of good stuff in course all across Europe. Of course, here Chelsea media. It was a good day for you. Back to back clean sheet for Chelsea. They've not done it in a very long time. Back to back clean sheet, and then now Chelsea here or the London Olympic Stadium. And now I give you a snippet of the tactical breakdown of how Enzo Maresca set up against West Ham United. Today I have more details for you. I think there are about 5 more in terms of the details of the tactical breakdown in that game against West Ham United. Some of the things that people did not see off the back of the game, some of the intricate things that Chelsea did on the ball, without the ball, and stuff like that. Again, and send me Enzo Maresca kind after the game and where the Chelsea team is. And I'll tell you the reason why Chelsea is not really at where they have to be. I'll tell you how the steps that Chelsea had to do and where they can get better and stuff like that. Also, and then I'll do an analysis of every other game that went on. So don't go nowhere. If you are another fan, if you're a fan from other clubs, stick and stay. The Madrid post-match analysis they are available. Manchester United against Crystal Palace they are available. And of course, my analysis of any games where Barca and stick and stay over here at Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. It's imperative. So be subscribe to the channel now. No turn on notification or I say Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and make sure you enjoy the analysis. No, I say of course. And now Madrid got an important too. But let's start with the Chelsea conversation I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and after that I'll give you the rest of the conversation, the rest of the details. No, I was see. I've watched the game 2 times, and the more I watch the game, the more my respect for Enzo Maresca goes high. And let me say it in English, so that for purposes of more Nigeria, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, I'm on teaching, sometimes they can understand. So I'll mix the two for you. I had a lot of respect for Enzo Maresca. Because see, football, and on Friday, Namika said, if you have a thought of ever believing or thinking that football is something theoretical, that's the idea. But and never theoretical. It is never theoretical. It can never be theoretical. And the more you have a coach who understands that certain things need to change. And let me take you back down memory lane. When Enzo Maresca was coming to become Chelsea coach, we're always searching about him from Leicester City and whatnot. One of the first things that we saw, they said, a positional play manager, or a lot of the ball, or a inverted fullback, or a AC. And usually, Chelsea have seen it before in Mauricio Sarri, where Sarri comes in and he wants to play a lot of the positional football, or also have a lot of the ball. But then the defense thing, I did the OOP, into consistently, he was leaking in goals. So one of the things that Chelsea were worried about, even in preseason, was the out of possession shape. Chelsea remember the first game against Manchester City, remember the next game against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the first half. conceded a lot of chances. Then the third game, the chances were reducing, considered just one goal against Bournemouth. Chelsea didn't concede a goal, and back-to-back clean sheet. But it has been coming. And you know, I catch yourself. You look at the 4 metrics in there. Enzo Maresca kind of in his post-match analysis. Now, one of the things that we didn't speak about is the out of possession shape of the team, and especially the centre backs and defended the game. 1, Wesley Fofana; 2, Tosin Adrabiayo; and then 3, Levi Colwill. And of course, Robert Sanchez. You will not give him a lot of credit because only the most flamboyant of goalkeepers. But Robert Sanchez, in the last few days, last few weeks, has been solid for Chelsea. Against West Ham United, one of the biggest issues that you were consistently going to face, regardless of the team they are with, goalkeepers dominant in terms of set pieces and then cross claiming. He was good at that. And then the 2 centre backs, especially for Tosin Adrabiayo. Makaneha, if you are new to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, but this is your first time you're hearing, the CCB or the central centre back, the most important part of the centre back in possession and out of possession, or not necessarily the organizer. That person, the CCB, is supposed to be the organizer in chief, supposed to be the calmest of the lot. We're more panicky, we're more aggressive, almost step attack, pressing, and all of those things. The CCB is supposed to be calm, cool, calm, and collected. And you've seen it in Tosin Adrabiayo. And I used to say it several times. You're breaking lines, you're patient, you're calm, you're going to dwells, you're defending spaces. Because, like I said in the pre-match analysis, coming into this game, Chelsea knew that West Ham had changed something. And it was their press structure. In fact, West Ham pressed Chelsea man for man. And if you listen to Enzo Maresca, or say, sometimes in building up in other games, against Fulham, against Manchester City, they build with a 3. Sometimes they build with a 2. Or share or who some more with the back 5. You know that they were going to build with a 3, and they were going to push Emerson up top higher, and then of course Abrante around Wan-Bissaka also higher. Now when they do that, so we should the pressing shape, and I'm going to give you all the annotations of what I say so that you can understand better. And now there was a reaction, but this time I have the pictures down. I've done the analysis on paper and maybe Shimama. So that you look at it. Now look at what you're seeing. Having a Abrante Emerson pushing out to press Chelsea's fullbacks now, wide areas now, to press Chelsea's wingers. Then you have Kudus and Somerville coming inside inverted to press Chelsea's inside players will be receiving ball from that area. Then having Bowie in the middle of the park. Then in the middle, he had Edson Alvarez and Rodriguez staying on the 2 midfielders all. And that's the plan. The plan was to go for Chelsea 1v1. Now Enzo Maresca said immediately he knew that. He decided that on press it, he will sit in the mid block. And Chelsea at some point in time will have a 5-3-2 mid block. And like Maka, the game is supposed to be so pragmatic. Said, yes, you want to press, sometimes you want to press man for man and everything. But all of that's supposed to be game state. What do you need that in the games? At the point in time, I would not give them. It's that's what the team needs. If you go man for man, you're into a chair, I don't have issues. You lack pace. Should you drop the line and stuff like that? Into your dropping line. They didn't go man for man again. Deciding that it is imperative that we go mid block, prevent central progression, let them have the ball to feed to Kudus and Somerville. We'll deal with that. Now in Yabona, because Emerson and then Wan-Bissaka are so high, we will play into the channels and then we can head them. And yesterday, that was, if you look at all of the Chelsea goals, and again, there were pictures of such Chelsea goals. Now, all of the Chelsea goals that Chelsea scored were all from transitions, and all of them you can see that Emerson was higher. You can see say Aaron Wan-Bissaka was higher. All of them were very high up the pitch, and then the spaces in the channels did open up to itself. And once it did, obviously, not Chelsea were going to take our chances now, and we're going to try and head team my friend. See, a lot of credit to our branch friend Moses Caicedo. Quality on the ball, covering a lot of ground. And Caicedo is a top player. Obi and Ebi only needed is just because Chelsea was an unstable environment. If you have a stable team, now getting results, good manager, excellent structure. Now, it's a Chelsea ball matcher. You can't just mention one person, oh, you're good. You mention about 5 people because you can mention Tosin Adrabiayo. You can mention Levi Colwill. You can mention goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. You can mention Cucurella. You can mention Enzo Fernandez. You can mention Caicedo. You can mention Jackson. All of these players were good. All of them were solid. It's Maka. Sometimes when I started this thing, people say, oh, sometimes we're too positive about Chelsea. You cannot have this much quality. It was only left with a good manager to handle the materials that Chelsea had. And it was only a matter of time. So maybe it's time for all of you to say, okay, Fifi, you actually said it. And then bring me Mebo, no family and say that this is things that you've already said. It's Chelsea game. They were solid yesterday, out of possession, in possession, everything seems to be good. The analysis is there. Enjoy it. Let's go on to other things and also all across Europe. No? And now another big game that went on. John Duran again, Eshego, Emma, Aston Villa. Another player that we kept on talking about, the fact that the ball striking ability is clean. This time, it wasn't a shot from outside of the box. It was an inside of the box, something across the face of goal, and John Duran did tap in. But it is the movement of John Duran, how he started it from deeper, made the run, got in behind to the blind side of the defender, then attack his space now, and then slots the ball into the back of the net. That is the quality of a brand friend John Duran, and he keeps on showing it. And McCann several times said, for Aston Villa, they had no plans in selling him, and for them to go to Europe and get the results away, come home to the London to Villa Park and still get the win when they were down by a goal to 0. It tells you Unai Emery keeps on doing magic with that Aston Villa team. You need to credit him, regardless of whichever fan away you watch Unai Emery's work, the handprint, the quality of play on the players, how good they are when they receive the ball, the defensive side of the game, how much ground Abrantia, your friend Amadou Nana, I cover for team my friend of Aston Villa. You give them a lot of credit for the things that they have done over there. And now they turn things around in the English Premier League, beating Wolves by 3 goals to 1 after going down by a goal to 0. I feel very sad for Gary O'Neill because I think that he's a solid manager. But when things about concentration, go away for away ground, and then you don't get results. People now begin to question your tactical acumen as a coach. But that doesn't mean he's a bad manager. I think it's just a matter of time. And then in the evening, team friend Manchester United went away to Crystal Palace, and then it was a 0-0 draw. To be very fair with you, to be fair with Eric Ten Hag, I think that his teams have come under a lot of backlash in recent times. But McCann several times said Ten Hag in himself was not a bad coach. I think that he was just too stuck with too much transitions. Say Manchester United started game up. They be a young boy in between the channels, young boy in 10. Let's be too direct. Sometimes it is important for you to be direct, but also it's important for you to manage and control games by having some circulation of the ball, some passes in between players, and ball circulation and retention are very important. The retention and circulation of the ball are very, very important. Sometimes people do not understand. And if you go back to the Chelsea case against West Ham United, when Chelsea play against West Ham United, the second goal that Nicolas Jackson scored was just from ball circulation and ball retention. Because sometimes you want to go too direct, but if the pass is too risky, then you end up turning the possession over to the opponent. Then you are going into a defensive transition. Now, if you are there and you are playing against an opponent that can kill you, you are in trouble. So the circulation is important, and that's the issue that I've had with Eric Ten Hag when it comes to his teams. They are too hinged. I don't know if it's just because of Bruno Fernandes as a player and noting that they be consistently, or you're too hinged on playing directly and stuff like that. But now against Crystal Palace, before the game, now before we were asking questions about how Kobe Manu alone can hold the medal. Of course, single pivot for Kobe Manu on paper, but it wasn't going to be so on the field of play. And consistently, I said, if you look at that, something was going to change. There was going to be some of the fullback probably that will invert next to a brighter friend Kobe Manu in the middle of the park for him to control the game. And it was Diogo Dalot, and I think that he did excellently well because this is possible again because if you say Manchester United back three now, when Diogo Dalot inverts, it is now possible for you to have Leandro Martinez, Delete, and then Nesor Mazouari, who are good in terms of playing out from the back and build up. Now, there are 3 players that can do the first piece of build-up. Then you have Kobe Manu and Diogo Dalot. The best option, obviously, is Kobe Manu, but the protection of Kobe and then options next to him comes from Diogo Dalot. The height also in the middle of the park is important. So that now you can push Bruno Fernandes a little bit higher. Then keep the weight with Amad and Garnacho and the likes. Then Zex's combination play with Bruno Fernandes would have come to fruition. Again, I think that when it comes to the dominance of play, I have issue with Crystal Palace for structure. At almost every phase of play, Manchester United looked like they had an extra +1. United they have a +1. Crystal Palace could never find the extra man. Manchester United always let they were overloading him, and I think I saw it in the game against Leicester City. Against Chelsea, he was sitting back very, very deep, so I didn't really see that. And against Manchester United, was game. Oliver Glasner has to change something. The problem of Manchester United and Roma was clear. Essentially, it was because on a day where they had to get a job done, on a day where some Barry chances, no, Manchester United were not able to convert those chances that they had to convert and get a job done. And that's why they dropped the point. In terms of good play, having possession of the ball, dominating play, dictating the pace of the game, Manchester United essentially were up there, and they did some excellent stuff. You have to give them a lot of credit for signing Emmanuel, and I think they deserve all of that. In the evening, obviously, there was a big one. Real Madrid away at the Santiago de Bernabeu against RD Espanyol. Everybody knew there was going to be a tough game. I think that the big conversation, the penalty or no penalty of Endrick outside of the box. If you look at some of the pictures that's close to me, it looks as if it wasn't really inside the box. It looks as you say it wasn't necessarily inside the box but then these are pictures. You need to watch the full video and so that you can make a proper assessment of if say Endrick age boxing. But mind you, say the rules are clear. If say Endrick 9-19 back age and line, so it's possible for it to be called as a penalty. Have this at the back of your mind so that you make a cogent analysis of the situation. But Madrid, on the day when they went down, came back, got a goal in there, and Kylian Mbappe scoring from a penalty. You have Vinicius Junior coming out from the bench and dictating the pace of the game. And over there, how Madrid generally ball some good football in there. I think they deserve a lot of credit. Carlo Ancelotti. You see, my whole lineup now, the lineup was without Vinicius Junior. I knew that Carlo had something up his sleeves. And it's the question of control that I keep on seeing every time. So in this game, he went with Carvajal, Militao, Orange Chimeni at centre back, Fran Gracia at right back, Federico Valverde, and Luka Modric as the two DMs in there, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Arda Güler, and having a branch friend, Kylian Mbappe up top. Now, if you look at this, becomes a much more central conjunction of the pitch control. Also, be say Arda Güler likes to come inside. So there's a lot of focus on the central areas. Senebeya, Mbappe can drift off from the left hand side and come in. Then Rodrigo goes going to stick on the right hand side. I think that goals for one person, it is a lot of credit as a Real Madrid player. Times where you need somebody to step up and get goals. No, Rodrigo Goes comes up with it. He gets the goals for you, and he does an excellent stuff. In the first half, Thibaut Courtois saw own goal. It was about how Madrid will come back because they were down over the Santiago Bernabeu. And again, in the second half, one of the things that is very important with Madrid, how much they are very keen on making sure say players are senior players and they embody everything Real Madrid do. They don't just, and I'm talking about Dani Carvajal. See, with Carvajal's age at this point in time, a lot of teams would have sucked Carvajal out of the team. But outperforming average they can't put and they keep him in there because he has that personality, he has that charisma. When Madrid needs to be built out as a leader, he leads by example, jumps up and finds the equalizer for team friend Real Madrid and now at the Santiago Bernabeu. They needed that inspiration, and on the 58th minute, Abrante friend Dani Carvajal got that job for them. Again, you ask questions about Madrid's balance in attack, or more balance with the ball, more balance without the ball, and even the issues I normally having with Abrante friend Orange Chimeni coming back to come and play as part of the centre backs now with Chiono. And of course, Rodrigo Goes in the 75th minute, excellent player by our standard in a team where everybody talks about Mbappe, everybody talks about Vinicius Junior, everybody talks about Jude Bellingham. Trust me, Rodrigo Goes is one of the best, and it is also a name I can say at least top 5. Rodrigo Goes should be in there. I think that last season I do agree with him. Goes did perform excellently well for Real Madrid, and he deserves to be in there as a player. And everybody needs to give him his flowers. He's a top player, young player from Brazil, in a mix with a lot of technical players. Very technical himself. Pops up with important goals for Real Madrid. Excellent servant, and I think that he deserves a lot of the credits now. See, Vinicius Junior, the Ballon d'Or winner. They should just give it to him. Yesterday off the bench, coming on, making it 3-1. Vinicius Junior. And Macan is several times saying, you watch Vinicius Junior play, he plays like he has something at stake. Or Bobono saying, he really has something at stake. There's something huge down as Vinicius Junior as a player. He needs to dominate things. He needs to control things. He needs to go into battles. He needs to win them. Who isolated 1v1, and Vinicius Junior definitely is going to hurt you. And he did it. Of course, the penalty issue by Kylian Mbappe, obviously, we're expecting people are saying that in just about 6 matches, Madrid have 5 penalties already. That's a non-starter. It's a penalty. It is a penalty. Again, whether or not it's on the line or it's a video that can really tell where it was. On my stance, there's only pictures that I've seen, and I can't really tell if it was on the line or not. But of course, good penalty for killing the Johnny Mbappe, and then Madrid doing it 4-1 on the night at the Santiago Bernabeu, making sure say and there is going to be a lot of pressure on Barcelona in the Spanish La Liga. A lot of pressure on Barcelona in the Spanish La Liga. And then there are 3 big games and also in Europe. 3 very, very, very huge games that are going to go on in Europe. 1 in Spain, 1 in England, the other one in Italy. You don't want to miss any of those ones. 3 big games and also, of course, if you look at Barcelona playing a game against Villarreal, it has always been a tough game for Barcelona. In fact, in the last few years, in the last time at Barca and Villarreal, they struggled to get a win against Villarreal the last time in January 27. Barca lost by 3-2 against Villarreal. Of course, in August 23, almost Villarreal by 4-3 away at Villarreal. Also the game against February 12, 23, Barca share Villarreal by 0-0. It has always been tight. Barca share Villarreal 3-0 on October 23 and May 2022. Almost lose by 2-0 to Villarreal. Today it is away, not at home. The one game per annum, it's going to be away, and Barca are making sure say they get their job done. It's going to be a tough game going away to Villarreal and getting the job done. But Ansumani Fati are returning after the issues against Monaco, lost in the Champions League, red card, and a lot of things have been said. See, let me say something about Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Ter Stegen is a bad coach, bad goalkeeper. I think that the biggest strength, and then Hansi Flick said it in his pre-match press conference, that the biggest strength for Arantxa Feno and Marc-Andre ter Stegen is his ball playing ability from the back. But of course, human beings are prone to making mistakes. And the biggest issue where the first pole defended, he makes a lot of mistakes from there. And I don't think say at age 32, Barca essentially just have to throw away Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I don't agree with that. I think say ter Stegen has more to give as a goalkeeper, especially when goalkeepers are growing and they gain a lot of experience in certain times of their careers now. You expect them to be there, you expect them to play, or you expect them to dominate things when they grow up. And I think that Marc-Andre ter Stegen have a lot to offer. The biggest problem with Barcelona is the absence of a DM in the middle of the pack. And what the solutions is going to be for Hansi Flick when he goes into it. Eric Garcia got a red card when he played against Monaco. Of course, I know it's going to be the 2 Inigo Martinez, and at the back having Pau Kubasa, there's 2 center back there. I'm expecting that still we have Jules Koundé, Alejandro Balde, and if you listen to Hansi Flick, I see he has a lot of plans to develop the quality of Arantxa and Alejandro Balde, because Omar Barca a lot of dynamism. Now, when you have Casado playing as a single sit, what happens is that because Dani Olmo is not there, you are playing Pedri next to him. There's going to be a lot of combination play between Casado in the first 90 Pedri in terms of building up face now and having a lot of the ball in deeper areas and controlling the game from such areas. You can have Eric Garcia next to Casado in there. But again, it's about what you want for him. Are you willing to have Rafinha coming inside as a number 10, playing Fran Garcia, playing Ferran Torres on the wings? Senegal, Alejandro Balde keep the weight. He also will come inside into the house space now and have Lamine Yamal on the other way. It's about the kind of solutions that Hansi Flick wants to find in solving the Barca issues of the absence of Dani Olmo or Honor. But then again, I think that Barca is getting the Fermin Lopez is getting a contract extension, 5 years plus or Honor. And I think that Barca has what it takes, especially after Madrid even going away to go and get a job done against Villarreal. Not an easy game. Never an easy game. Like I said, it's going to be a tough game, but Barca has what it takes to get a job done and turn things around for team FC Barcelona going away to Villarreal in the Spanish La Liga in the match day 6. Barca will look to make it 18 points out of 18 already, a 15 out of 15. Madrid and Real scored, and it means that there are changes to the Spanish La Liga table. Barca want to turn things around and get a job done in the English Premier League. Big one, Manchester City playing against Arsenal. See, me tweeted idea about 2 or 3 years ago that Mikel Arteta is closer to Jose Mourinho, and people do not give Antonio Conte credit for the 3-back and defensive solidity because everybody's just hinged on playing positional play, nice football. They have a lot of possession, but the game has gone beyond that. The way the game is producing a lot of technical players who can turn a game on their head singularly. The way the game has now more 1v1 wingers on the wing who can make things happen with time. It is the reason why these days almost everybody who is building a team is also going for physical monsters. If you go to the Arsenal backline, you have 4 straight physical monsters: Jordan Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and of course you have it in a branch of Ben White. Even at Manchester City, the same Pep Guardiola, who has a lot of positional play, used to play with his wing with fullbacks very high and wide, then they press you, they counter press you and stuff like that. When he went to play in Europe, and you realize that the game in Europe was very transitional, all both games with say Manchester City, and you put your fullbacks very high and wide, the positional awareness of your players is more attacking than defensive. When he had it in João Cancelo, when he had it in the Champions League, he began to change things. And that's why today, if you look at the Manchester City backline, there's a certain Josko Vardiol, there's a certain Netanaki, there's a certain Akonji, there's a certain Ruben Diaz, John Stones, all of them in there. Even if you play the fullbacks, it is one. And this is Kyle Walker, who you can tell say he's working very, very well on him to make sure so Obe better in the off the ball job, you know. Because when he cannot let him alone cause the team every time. And it is because there is the importance of physical involvement in that game, because now there has been an inception and an onslaught of a lot of very good technical, wingers, 1v1, they will hurt you. Like they will turn things around. You cannot deal with it. And fullbacks, no, and yet defensively as sound as you want it to be. So sometimes you want an out and out centre back in that area, or no an initial thought, defensive than attack. So you will do the attack with the rest of the team. And if you watch Mikel Arteta's side, he went away to Atalanta, Kokobo, a very, very solid game. Makani several times, I've tweeted it, I've said it. The Arsenal team is very mechanical, very rigid. And the job is one. Or money defense now is very, very solid, very solid. Now they're going to play against Manchester City. Martin Odegaard is out of the game. Now in the middle of the park, yes, Spencer Thomas, third party, Jorginho are going to be in the middle of the park. Then William Timber probably invert into the middle of the park over Fiifi-Manfred. My biggest problem with Arsenal is that their source of goals in Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, they are all out of form. So it's about how Arsenal can engineer something. I don't think this game will best bet to say there's an under 4.5 and under 3.5. Goals and Memusa, all of them are going to be very resolute, very difficult. If City want to go man for man, they have the men to deal with Erling Haaland when they go long. So Arsenal will not push the line very high, so that you can go long with Edison Morales behind the line and then hit him with the pace of Erling Haaland. They won't do that this time. So it's going to be more aggressive, more physical. And if you've watched Liverpool versus Manchester City away at Etihad, 0-0 on board, the teams are going to essentially be cancelling each other out consistently. And I think that's how the game is going to be. If you don't take it, whoever wins this game wins it from just one chance or from a set piece. The XGs that will be created may be low. And that's how the game is going to be essentially. And then in the match, Arsenal himself, I said it last season, I say it again. If you want to win the league, if you want to usurp the king, you kill the king. If you want to win the league, you beat Manchester City at home. It's as simple and a life principle as that. Go to their home and beat them. If Arsenal are able to beat Manchester City, the conversation changes totally. It changes totally. And everything now goes straight down to the level, okay, now they have been able to beat them. So we have confidence. We can ride on that confidence. We can go into it. We can get better with time. But if you're able to beat Manchester City, now the wada, then you go and you come back, and then there are now questions of how good you are. You go away, you drop points against Villa, Monia, then you are going to have trouble. I think that Arsenal should do their best in getting their job done against them. And Manchester City are good. It's not going to be easy. Don't ever override them on anything. It is never going to be easy. And then our final game also in Europe, and is the El Derby de Madonnina, Inter Milan versus AC Milan. Or the Giuseppe Meazza. Inter are playing at home. Of course, you look straight at the starting lineup of Inter Milan and you realize that it is a stark difference between what was seen at the Etihad this week, and what we are going to see at the Derby de Madonnina or the Giuseppe Meazza. If you look at the Etihad, the wing backs, Augusto and Damian were very, very defensive. Now he's coming to the Giuseppe Meazza, playing against an AC Milan team which isn't in form. If you look at Stefano Pioli, look at the quality of coach out here. Not Stefano Pioli, Fonseca, how he hasn't gotten the best out of his team now. It is clear, say, Inter Milan believe that they are good, they are clockwork, they they're a solid team and they can hurt AC Milan. So they are going into this game with Federico Di Marco on the other side and having Denzel Dumfries, a much more attacking wing back set. And there's an exception of centre backs in Italy, like Bastoni, Calafiori, and yesterday I watched Abrantia, your friend, what's his name? It's Buongo something. For SSC Napoli and Omoba against Juventus. Let me see if I'll find the name for you. He's an excellent centre back, and when Tima, your friend of Napoli, went away to go and play against Juventus, you can tell say he's in the frame of Abrantia and Calafiori, same as Bastoni. So technically good centre backs who makes me carry ball if you actually step into midfield, you overlaps, you're physically strong for you to deal with them. They are very good. The name is Buongiorno over there. Very, very good centre back. Yesterday, he partnered with Abrante Rachmani, Di Lorenzo, and Oliveira in the back for Antonio Conte's team. Of course, it was a 0-0 in there. I think in the Derby, the Madonina, Inter are good. They should be able to beat AC Milan in there. Of course, an upset can happen, but I think Inter are good. AC Milan letting Pierre Kalulu go to Juventus did not make sense for me. If you look at the team that they have, they don't seem to be solid enough, and I don't think that they can really hurt International Milan like that. I think the Inter are going to get a job done against AC Milan. Hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe and turn on notification. I'll see you. Bye bye.